The day had finally arrived. Graduation day. The sun shone brightly over Crestwood High, and the air was filled with excitement, laughter, and the scent of flowers. I adjusted the gown over my shoulders, feeling the familiar weight of anticipation and nerves. Most of my classmates were chattering excitedly, taking selfies and waving at parents in the audience. I tried to blend in, but today felt different. Beneath the standard black graduation gown, I was wearing something I'd carefully chosen, a sleek, pale lavender dress I had bought weeks ago. It was a secret, one that only I knew about. My name is Jordan, and this graduation was supposed to be a celebration of my achievements, not the unveiling of a side of myself I'd hidden for so long. As the ceremony began, I walked across the stage, shaking Principal Harris's hand, smiling for the camera. My heart raced, not just from the spotlight, but from the secret I carried beneath my gown. I had rehearsed keeping calm, keeping my identity hidden, and focusing on the milestone ahead. But then it happened. A gust of wind swept across the auditorium, stronger than expected. The corner of my gown caught on the edge of the podium. I stumbled slightly, and in that instant, the gown flipped open, revealing the lavender dress underneath. Gasps echoed across the crowd. Some students froze, mouths open. Parents murmured in surprise. Cameras clicked uncontrollably. I felt my face flush a deep red, the world spinning for a second as I tried to pull the gown closed, but it was too late. I had been exposed. I froze, standing on the stage, as all eyes turned toward me. I could feel my heart pounding, the crowd waiting, parents whispering, friends staring in shock. And then a voice from the audience called out, "Jordan, is that really you?" Time seemed to slow. Every step, every heartbeat, every whisper counted. The question hung in the air, heavy with curiosity, judgment, and anticipation. What would I do next? Could I face the world as my true self in front of everyone, or would I retreat into fear? My hands trembled as I stood frozen on the stage. The lavender dress under my gown was exposed for everyone to see. I could feel eyes on me from every corner of the auditorium, friends, teachers, parents, strangers. Some of the reactions were shocking. A few students laughed nervously, whispering to one another. Others stared in open curiosity, unsure how to react. And then there were the smiles, small, supportive nods from classmates I had least expected. I felt my throat tighten. My heart pounded like a drum in my chest, and I took a deep, shaky breath. I'm Jordan, I said, voice barely above a whisper. This is me. A wave of silence swept through the auditorium. Parents exchanged glances, teachers adjusted their posture, and even the principal seemed momentarily stunned. Then a soft clap echoed from the back of the room. It was Emma, my best friend since freshman year. She stood, clapping slowly, a warm smile on her face. "You're amazing, Jordan," she said clearly, and the sound of her voice gave me a spark of courage. Encouraged, I straightened my shoulders and looked out at the audience. "I've hidden this side of me for years," I continued, voice growing steadier. "But I'm tired of hiding. This dress, this person is part of who I am. And I want to be honest today." Slowly, a few more students joined Emma's support with quiet claps. Then a few parents clapped, hesitant at first, but genuine. The auditorium buzzed with a mixture of shock, curiosity, and support. But not everyone reacted kindly. One of my classmates, Tyler, sneered and muttered under his breath, loud enough for me to hear, "Pathetic. Why can't he just be normal?" I felt the sting, the fear creeping back, but the dress felt warm against my skin, reminding me of every moment I had secretly practiced confidence, every step I had taken toward accepting myself. As I stepped down from the stage, a sudden movement from the back of the auditorium caught my eye. A figure tall, formal, and with a strange, knowing smile was watching me intently. I didn't recognize them, but something about their gaze sent a shiver down my spine. Their presence felt different, almost magical. Who were they, and why did it feel like they knew exactly what I had just revealed? I froze, my eyes locked on the figure at the back of the auditorium. There was something unsettling yet intriguing about them, a calm authority, an almost magnetic presence. My pulse quickened. Before I could process, Emma leaned close and whispered, "Jordan, don't let them scare you. You're doing amazing." Her words grounded me. I straightened my shoulders, refusing to let fear take over. The figure slowly started walking down the aisle, deliberate and composed. As they got closer, I could see their sharp features, the faint shimmer in their eyes, and a small, mysterious pin on their jacket, a symbol I didn't recognize. "Jordan," they said, voice smooth and compelling, yet carrying an edge of command. "I've been watching you. That dress, that honesty, it reveals more than you realize." I swallowed hard. Who are you?" They smiled faintly. "Let's just say I'm someone who recognizes courage when it appears. But courage in public, that's a test of a different kind. How will you handle the world now that it knows who you really are?" I looked around at the auditorium, now quiet, some still whispering, some staring, some supportive. I realized they were right, this was a different test. Magic hadn't been involved, but the world itself was judging, observing, weighing me. Tyler, the classmate who had sneered earlier, crossed his arms and muttered something, but for the first time, I didn't flinch. The warmth of the dress, the confidence I had built, and Emma's encouragement all combined into a steady courage. "I'll handle it," I said firmly, meeting the mysterious figure's gaze. "I'm done hiding, and if the world has questions, I'll answer them honestly." The figure nodded slightly, almost approvingly, then turned and left the auditorium without another word. My curiosity burned. Who were they, and why did it feel like this encounter was only the beginning? As the ceremony ended and students filed out, I felt a sudden vibration in my phone. A message appeared on the screen from an unknown number. "You've revealed yourself, Jordan, but someone else will notice soon. Be ready." My heart skipped a beat. The graduation dress had shown my identity, but now, it seemed my journey was only beginning. Who would notice next, and what challenges awaited me outside the auditorium? The moment I stepped outside the auditorium, the warm spring air hit my face, but it couldn't ease the nervous knot in my stomach. Students, parents, and faculty were scattered across the lawn, and whispers followed me like a trail. Emma stayed close, holding my hand. "Ignore the whispers," she said softly. "You did something amazing today." I nodded, but couldn't help glancing around. Some parents smiled, giving nods of encouragement, while others exchanged confused or concerned looks. A few teenagers snickered or pointed, clearly still uncertain. Then, a familiar voice called out, "Jordan, wait up." It was Mia, a senior I had always admired for her confidence and kindness. She approached with a smile, holding her phone like she wanted a selfie, but her expression was genuine, not mocking. "You looked incredible up there," she said warmly. "Honestly, that took guts. I know it's not easy revealing yourself like that." I felt a rush of relief, a small flicker of pride igniting. "Thanks, Mia. I've kept this part of myself hidden for years. Today, I just couldn't anymore." She nodded. "I get it. And it's inspiring. People will react in different ways, but what matters is you being true to yourself. That's what everyone should be celebrating." The words hit me harder than I expected. For the first time, the idea of being open and unashamed in public didn't feel terrifying, it felt empowering. But just as I began to relax, a shadow fell across my path. Tyler, the same classmate who had sneered at me earlier, stepped forward, arms crossed and a smirk on his face. "So, this is who you really are, huh?" he said, voice loud enough for others nearby to hear. "Can't say I expected this at graduation." I straightened my shoulders, the lavender dress catching the sunlight, glimmering like a badge of courage. "Yes," I said firmly. "This is who I am. And I'm not hiding anymore." Tyler's smirk faltered slightly, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. He opened his mouth, probably to say something, but then hesitated, glancing at the growing crowd who had started to gather, some watching with curiosity, others with admiration. As Tyler stepped back, muttering something under his breath, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. "Good. But bravery has consequences, Jordan, and not all attention is friendly. Someone will come for you soon. A chill ran down my spine. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, and now, it seemed my life outside the auditorium would be a new kind of trial. Who was coming for me, and what would they want? The moment the unknown message appeared, a strange tension rippled through the crowd. I scanned the area, heart pounding, but saw nothing unusual at first, just families, students, and faculty, some chatting, some taking pictures. Then, a subtle movement at the edge of the parking lot caught my eye. A figure stepped out of the shadows, tall and composed, dressed sharply but with a faint shimmer to their clothes, as if a light of its own radiated from them. Their eyes locked on me immediately, and I felt that same eerie sense of recognition from the auditorium earlier. Emma squeezed my hand. "Jordan, who is that?" I shook my head slightly. "I don't know, but they're watching me." The figure approached slowly, not with aggression, but with an undeniable air of authority. As they got closer, I noticed the faint glint of a pendant around their neck, a symbol I couldn't quite place, but it felt somehow magical, or at least significant. "Jordan," they said, voice calm, yet commanding. "Your courage has been remarkable. But bravery exposed in public comes with responsibility. You've revealed yourself today, and that draws attention, some supportive, some less so." I took a step forward, trying to appear confident, though my pulse raced. I don't know what you want from me," I admitted. The figure smiled faintly. "I want to guide you. Someone will challenge your identity, Jordan, not out of malice necessarily, but to test whether your courage is genuine. Can you stand as yourself when the world scrutinizes you? When fear, judgment, or ridicule comes?" A shiver ran down my spine. This was no ordinary challenge. The graduation dress had revealed me. Yes, but now the consequences were real, tangible, and immediate. The crowd seemed to fade into background noise, leaving just the figure and the pulsing warmth of the dress grounding me. I'll do it," I said, voice steadying. "I won't hide. I'll face whatever comes." The figure nodded, almost approvingly. "Good. Courage is not just about unveiling who you are, it's about standing firm when the world pushes back. Soon, you'll see that not all attention is friendly. Some will test you, and some will try to take advantage of the power you now carry." Suddenly, a group of students appeared from around the corner, one of them smirking, another whispering urgently, as if plotting something. The mysterious figure stepped back, letting me face what was coming next. The dress pulsed as if anticipating the confrontation. I realized that this was my first real test in the open world, outside the controlled environment of graduation. Could I stand firm, embrace my identity fully, and show the world that courage isn't just about magic or secrecy, but about being unapologetically yourself? The group of students approached, their expressions a mix of curiosity, mischief, and challenge. I recognized Tyler among them, smirking like he had finally found the perfect opportunity to push me. "You really think wearing that thing makes you brave?" Tyler sneered, voice loud enough for the small crowd gathering to hear. "Everyone's watching, Jordan. Are you ready for the world to see this side of you?" I felt the warmth of the lavender dress enveloping me, like a shield, and took a deep breath. "Yes," I said firmly. "This is who I am. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's your problem, not mine." A few students laughed nervously, but others exchanged uncertain glances. I realized something in that moment. Courage wasn't about pleasing everyone. It was about standing for myself, no matter how the world reacted. Emma stepped beside me, giving my hand a reassuring squeeze. "You've got this," she whispered. Her support grounded me, giving me the strength to hold my head high. Tyler's smirk faltered slightly, and I noticed something unexpected. Some students in the group were whispering to each other, casting glances toward me with curiosity rather than ridicule. The dress, the confidence, my words, it seemed to have shifted something in them. One of the students, a quiet girl named Sophie, stepped forward hesitantly. I think that's really brave, Jordan," she said softly. "I've never seen anyone own themselves like that." Her words sparked a ripple effect. A few more students nodded, some even smiled. The crowd of spectators, previously tense, now seemed intrigued. some silently cheering me on. I felt a rush of relief, followed by a surge of empowerment. The dress wasn't just fabric, it was a symbol of honesty, courage, and self-acceptance. And the more I embraced it, the more it radiated outward, inspiring others. Just as I began to feel a sense of victory, my phone buzzed again. A new message from the unknown number appeared. "Well done, Jordan. But courage has consequences. Someone is coming, someone who won't be impressed by bravery alone. Are you prepared?" A chill ran down my spine. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and shifted perceptions, but now it seemed a far greater challenge was on the horizon. Who was coming, and would I be ready to face them without hiding anything? The message burned in my mind as I scanned the street. The unknown number had predicted this, but nothing could have prepared me for the figure emerging from the shadows at the edge of the parking lot. Tall, striking, and moving with a deliberate grace, they wore an outfit that shimmered faintly, as if stitched with light itself. Their eyes locked on me, unblinking, measuring, assessing. My heart raced, but the warmth of the lavender dress calmed me, anchoring me in the moment. "You've shown courage today, Jordan," the figure said, voice smooth, almost musical, yet carrying an unmistakable authority. "But courage without wisdom is fragile. Will you protect what you've revealed, or crumble under pressure?" I swallowed hard, stepping forward. "I won't hide anymore," I said, voice firm despite the tremor in my stomach. "I'll face whatever comes, and I'll stand as myself." The figure tilted their head, a faint smile curving their lips. "Good. But words alone are not enough. Actions speak louder than bravado." Suddenly, the ground beneath us seemed to hum, a subtle vibration spreading outward. I realized the confrontation wasn't just about words or appearances, it was a challenge, a test of composure, confidence, and authenticity in the face of scrutiny. From the crowd, I noticed some students and parents whispering, others taking tentative steps back, sensing the intensity of the moment. Tyler stood frozen, his smirk gone, replaced by uncertainty. Even he seemed unsure how to respond to what was unfolding. I focused on the warmth of the dress, imagining it as a shield that also radiated my confidence outward. Each step I took felt deliberate, a silent declaration. I was Jordan, unapologetically, and no one could take that away. The figure nodded subtly, almost approvingly. "Very well. Let us see if your courage inspires more than fear, or if it falters under the weight of attention." Before I could react, a sudden gust of wind swirled around us, carrying whispers from the crowd, echoes of doubt, and faint shimmering lights from the dress itself. The figure stepped closer, their eyes glowing brighter, and the world seemed to shift slightly as if reality itself were holding its breath. Could I stand firm, maintain my confidence, and turn this challenge into a moment of empowerment, or would the weight of judgment and scrutiny finally break me? The figure stopped a few feet away, their gaze intense, measuring every ounce of courage radiating from me. I could feel the dress humming softly, almost as if it knew the stakes. My chest tightened, but I forced myself to breathe slowly, letting each inhale fill me with determination. "You're standing tall," the figure said, voice calm but sharp. "But standing tall is only the beginning. Will you remain true when whispers turn into judgment, smiles into mockery, and curiosity into confrontation?" I squared my shoulders. I've faced judgment before. I've hidden, I've doubted myself. But today, I choose honesty. I choose courage. And I won't back down. A subtle shift rippled through the crowd. Some students whispered encouragement. Others glanced uncertainly at Tyler and the group that had been mocking me earlier. The energy around us felt different, like the dress itself was radiating courage outward, influencing the environment. Tyler stepped forward hesitantly. Jordan." He stopped, unsure what to say. I realized that my calm, firm stance was making him question his own assumptions. The figure's lips curved into a faint smile. "See? Courage is contagious. Not through intimidation or force, but through authenticity. People will notice. People will respond. But remember, not all responses will be kind. I nodded. I understand. But I'd rather be true to myself than hide from the world. That's a risk I'm willing to take. For a moment, silence fell over the crowd. Then, Sophie, the quiet girl from earlier, clapped softly. Others joined in, hesitant at first, then louder and more confident. Emma, standing beside me, cheered, and the energy shifted. The mysterious figure's eyes glinted as they stepped back into the shadows. Well done, Jordan. Today, you've shown that courage can ripple outward. But the next challenge will test more than bravery. It will test loyalty, compassion, and the strength of the heart itself. Just as the applause began to echo across the parking lot, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. You've made a mark today, but someone is watching from the shadows, and they won't be pleased by courage alone. Prepare yourself, Jordan. I glanced toward the far edge of the crowd and caught a glimpse of a dark figure moving deliberately, almost like a predator observing its target. My pulse quickened. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now a far greater test was coming. Would I have the courage to face it head-on? The dark figure lingered at the far edge of the parking lot, watching intently. There was an aura around them, a sense of authority, calculation, and something almost magical. My heart raced, but the lavender dress pressed against me like a shield, reminding me of every step I had taken to embrace who I truly was. Emma squeezed my hand. Jordan, whatever happens, remember who you are, she whispered. Her words steadied me more than I realized. I took a deep breath and stepped toward the figure. I know you're watching, I called out. If you think you can intimidate me, think again. I've faced judgment, ridicule, and fear. I'm not hiding anymore. The figure's lips curved into a faint, unsettling smile. Bold words. But courage alone does not always protect you. Let's see how you respond when action, not words, is required. Suddenly, the wind picked up, swirling leaves and loose papers around us. Shadows stretched unnaturally, and the figure moved forward, their presence commanding the space, as if bending reality subtly around them. I felt the dress hum, almost alive, responding to the intensity of the moment. I realized that this wasn't just a confrontation, it was a test. Not of magic, not of secret identity, but of character. Could I remain true to myself under pressure? Could I turn fear into strength? Tyler and some of the other students lingered behind, unsure, whispering to each other. Yet I noticed small nods from some. They were watching, learning even from this tense moment. Courage had become visible, contagious, and I could feel it ripple through the crowd. Taking another deep breath, I stepped fully into the light. I'm Jordan, I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. This is me. I won't let fear or scrutiny change that. And if you or anyone wants to challenge me, I'll face it with honesty and courage. The figure paused, and for a brief moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then slowly they nodded. Very well. You've taken the first true step. But remember, tests of the heart are rarely simple, and those who challenge your courage may not always show themselves openly. As the figure receded into the shadows, my phone buzzed once more. Another message flashed on the screen. You've made a statement, Jordan. But the real test is coming, and it will force you to confront not just your identity, but the hearts of those around you. Be ready. A chill ran down my spine. The graduation dress had revealed my true self and inspired others, but now, the next challenge loomed, one that might change everything. Could I stay strong, embrace my courage fully, and navigate the trials that awaited me beyond the graduation stage? The crowd had mostly dispersed now, but a few lingering students and parents watched cautiously, whispering to each other. I could feel the weight of the unknown messages and the dark figure pressing on my mind, but I forced myself to stay grounded. The lavender dress felt warm, protective, almost like it was urging me forward. Suddenly, Tyler stepped closer, flanked by a couple of his friends. So, you really mean it, huh? He said, voice tight but curious. You're going to walk around like that, no hiding? I held his gaze, letting my confidence grow from the nerves that had shaken me earlier. Yes, I said firmly. This is me. I'm not hiding anymore. And I'm not ashamed. Tyler hesitated, his bravado faltering as he noticed some of the other students nodding in agreement or whispering encouragement. Even Sophie, the quiet girl who had supported me earlier, smiled subtly. The energy around me shifted. Fear was giving way to curiosity, and mockery was transforming into respect. Emma leaned closer. See? You're changing things, Jordan. Just by being yourself. I smiled slightly, realizing she was right. The dress wasn't just fabric, it was a symbol of courage, honesty, and self-expression. And right now, it was helping me inspire others without even trying. Then, from the shadows of the parking lot, a new figure emerged, someone I didn't recognize, taller than most adults, dressed sharply, and moving with an almost supernatural grace. Their eyes were fixed on me, and the air seemed to thrum with anticipation. You've shown bravery, Jordan, the figure said, voice smooth but heavy with authority. But courage alone isn't enough. Can you inspire others to act with their hearts, even when it's difficult? Can you stand when challenged, and help others stand too? I felt the dress pulse around me, almost like it was alive, reacting to the intensity of the moment. I realized this was the real test, not just of my identity, but of leadership, empathy, and influence. Taking a deep breath, I squared my shoulders. I'll do it, I said firmly. I'll stand for myself, and I'll help others find the courage to stand for themselves too. The figure nodded slightly, stepping back into the shadows, but their presence lingered. My phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. You've taken the first step, Jordan. But courage attracts attention, both good and dangerous. Someone is coming for you, and it won't be a friendly encounter. Be ready. I looked toward the edge of the parking lot and caught a glimpse of movement, shadows shifting unnaturally, like someone was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The graduation dress had revealed my identity and inspired courage in others, but now a far greater challenge was coming. Could I face it without fear and stay true to myself? The movement at the edge of the parking lot grew clearer, a tall figure stepping forward from the shadows, their presence commanding and unsettling. Every instinct screamed caution, yet the dress hummed warmly against my skin, steadying me, reminding me of the courage I had claimed earlier. Emma gripped my hand tightly. Jordan, whatever happens, remember who you are, she whispered. Her voice was steady, grounding me amid the growing tension. The figure stopped a few yards away, and the air seemed to thicken. Their eyes were sharp, piercing, yet not unkind. Jordan, they said, voice low but resonant. You've revealed yourself. You've inspired curiosity, maybe even admiration, but courage alone isn't always enough. Can you protect yourself and others when fear and judgment come with force? I squared my shoulders, letting the lavender dress flow around me. I can, I said, voice firm. I've faced judgment all my life. This is who I am, and I won't hide. Whatever comes, I'll face it. The figure tilted their head, a faint smile curving their lips. Very well. Today's revelation is only the beginning. Soon, choices will have consequences, and not all eyes upon you will be friendly. I could see Tyler and his friends hesitating behind me, their expressions a mix of confusion and growing respect. Even some of the parents and onlookers lingered, watching, sensing something extraordinary was unfolding. I realized then that courage wasn't just a personal act, it could ripple outward, influencing others, inspiring them to reconsider their judgments, to question assumptions, to embrace honesty. The dress was more than clothing, it was a symbol, and I had become its living embodiment. The figure took a deliberate step back into the shadows, leaving me and Emma in the open lot. Yet their presence lingered, a silent challenge. The world was watching, and the next test would come not from whispers, but from direct confrontation. As we began to walk toward the cars, my phone buzzed once more. Another message from the unknown number appeared. Courage has been shown. Influence has begun. But someone approaches who will test your heart. Jordan, your bravery, your honesty, and your compassion. Are you ready for the next trial? I glanced toward the far edge of the lot, where the shadows seemed to shift, forming shapes that hinted at the arrival of someone or something intent on challenging me. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now, a far greater challenge awaited. Could I remain true to myself under pressure like this? The shadows shifted again, and the figure stepped fully into the light. This time, I could see them clearly, tall, poised, and radiating an almost magnetic presence. Their eyes locked on mine, measuring every ounce of confidence and fear. Emma stayed close, her hand gripping mine, giving me quiet reassurance. "You're stronger than you know," she said. The figure's voice cut through the air like a calm command. "Jordan, courage is admirable. But can you maintain it under direct challenge? Can you protect yourself while inspiring others? Can you stand unshaken when someone tries to undermine you?" I inhaled deeply, feeling the lavender dress settle comfortably against me. I will, I said firmly. I've faced judgment, ridicule, and fear before. I'm not hiding anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it honestly. A low, almost imperceptible smile crossed the figure's face. Good. Words matter, but actions define you. Will you act with courage when it is hardest? I realized the truth in their words. Standing on the graduation stage had revealed me. Yes, but that was just a beginning. Real courage wasn't about exposure, it was about consistency, about facing judgment and adversity in the real world, without flinching. Tyler and a few others from the crowd were watching, hesitant, unsure how to react. But some were smiling subtly, their curiosity tempered with respect. Even Sophie gave me a nod of encouragement. The energy around me was shifting. The dress, the act of honesty, my unwavering stance, it seemed to ripple outward, inspiring quiet courage in others. The figure stepped back, fading into the shadows, leaving only a sense of anticipation. Remember, Jordan, this is only the start. More challenges await, and not all attention will be friendly. But your choices now will shape the path ahead. As I turned to leave the parking lot with Emma, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number flashed. You've begun to influence others. But someone approaches who will test your heart, your bravery, and your honesty. Be prepared. A cold wind swept past, and in the corner of my vision, I caught a glimpse of movement. Another figure, larger, more imposing, coming closer with deliberate intent. The graduation dress had revealed my identity and inspired others, but now a far greater trial loomed. Could I face it without fear, fully embracing who I am? The figure at the edge of the parking lot was unmistakable now, tall, broad-shouldered, and moving with a deliberate, almost predatory grace. Every instinct screamed caution, yet the lavender dress seemed to hum softly against my skin, steadying me with warmth and courage. Emma's grip on my hand was firm. "Jordan, whatever happens, trust yourself," she whispered. Her calm confidence grounded me, helping to quiet the storm of nerves inside. The figure stopped a few yards away, their shadows stretching long across the pavement. "Jordan," they said, voice deep and smooth, "you've shown bravery and honesty today. But bravery without resolve can falter. Can you hold your identity firmly when tested directly? Can you face challenge and scrutiny simultaneously?" I straightened my shoulders, letting the confidence I had built shine through. "I will," I said firmly. "I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I'll face it as myself." A subtle shift rippled through the crowd. Tyler and his friends hesitated, unsure whether to step forward or back. Some of the onlookers whispered to each other, their expressions a mix of awe and curiosity. I realized that courage wasn't just about me, it influenced those around me, subtly inspiring them to reconsider their judgments. The figure studied me for a long moment, eyes unblinking. Then slowly they nodded. "Good. Today, you've begun to understand that courage is not merely exposure, but consistency in the face of adversity. But remember, tests will come from unexpected places, and not all attention will be supportive." I felt a strange energy around me, like the dress itself was amplifying my confidence and projecting it outward. Each step I took felt deliberate, controlled, and purposeful. As the figure receded into the shadows, My phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The real test approaches, Jordan. Someone is coming who will force you to confront fear, judgment, and loyalty. Are you ready? I glanced toward the far edge of the lot, and there they were, a looming shadow, moving swiftly and deliberately toward me. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and shifted perceptions, but now a far greater challenge loomed. Could I face it without fear, fully embracing who I am? The shadow grew larger, moving closer with a deliberate, almost predatory gait. My pulse quickened, but the lavender dress seemed to respond, humming softly and wrapping me in a strange warmth, like armor made of courage. Emma's hand tightened around mine. Jordan, whatever happens, remember who you are, she whispered. Her calm confidence grounded me, giving me the courage to face what was coming. The figure stopped just a few feet away, their presence radiating authority. Jordan, they said, voice deep and steady, you've revealed yourself, and that is admirable. But courage will soon be tested in ways exposure alone cannot prepare you for. Will you stand firm when fear and judgment come hand in hand? I drew in a deep breath, feeling the lavender dress settle around me like a shield. I will, I said firmly. I've hidden too long, and I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself. For a moment, the figures simply watched, silent, almost weighing my resolve. Then they stepped closer, and the subtle energy around us seemed to intensify. The air felt thicker, charged, almost like the world itself was holding its breath. Tyler and his friends hesitated behind me, their sneers replaced with uncertainty. Some onlookers whispered, some nodded subtly, and Sophie's encouraging smile gave me an unexpected boost of confidence. The figure finally nodded. Very well. Today, you've begun to understand that true courage is not just revelation, it is steadfastness, empathy, and influence. But be warned, challenges will come from unexpected places, and not all attention will be friendly. I realized then that courage was contagious. My honesty, my bravery, and even the simple act of standing in that lavender dress had shifted perceptions, subtly inspiring those around me to reconsider their judgments. As the figure receded into the shadows, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The real trial is near, Jordan. Someone is approaching who will test your heart, loyalty, and bravery like never before. Be ready. A shiver ran down my spine as I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A looming figure was advancing slow, deliberate, and undeniably powerful. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate challenge was approaching. Could I stand firm and embrace who I truly am under pressure like this? The figure's footsteps echoed across the pavement, deliberate and unyielding. Each step seemed to press heavier against my chest, yet the lavender dress wrapped around me like a second skin, steadying my nerves and reinforcing the courage I had been building all day. Emma stayed by my side, her grip firm and grounding. Jordan, remember, you've faced judgment before. You can do this, she whispered. The figure finally stopped a few feet away, their presence commanding the space between us. Their eyes locked on mine, sharp and intense, as if reading every fear, every doubt. Jordan, they said, voice low and measured, courage is admirable, but will it hold when tested by confrontation? Will honesty protect you, or will fear break your resolve? I took a deep, steadying breath, feeling the warmth of the dress anchoring me. I won't hide, I said firmly. I've faced judgment, ridicule, and fear before. This is who I am, and I will stand as myself no matter what comes. For a tense moment, the figures simply regarded me, silent, their gaze almost weighing my very soul. Then slowly they nodded. Very well. Today you've begun to understand that courage is not only exposure, it is steadfastness under scrutiny and influence over those who watch. But remember, the tests are not over. I felt the energy of the crowd shift around me. Tyler and his friends hesitated, unsure how to react. Some students whispered, their curiosity now tinged with respect. Even Sophie, the quiet girl who had supported me earlier, smiled encouragingly. The figure's presence faded slightly into the shadows, leaving a lingering tension in the air. Yet I realized something powerful. My honesty, my courage, and even the simple act of standing in this dress had inspired others. Courage could ripple outward. Just as I thought the encounter had ended, my phone buzzed again. A new message appeared from the unknown number. You've proven bravery, Jordan. But now the ultimate challenge approaches, someone who will test not just your courage, but your heart, your loyalty, and your resolve. Be ready. A chill ran down my spine as I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A larger, more imposing shadow was advancing deliberately toward me, radiating an aura of authority and challenge. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate trial was here. Could I face it without fear, fully embracing my true self? The imposing figure stepped closer, their presence radiating an almost magnetic authority. Every instinct told me to retreat, yet the lavender dress hummed softly against my skin, like it was giving me courage, reinforcing the bravery I had been building since the graduation stage. Emma tightened her grip on my hand. "Jordan, you can do this," she whispered. Her calm confidence grounded me, letting me breathe through the tension. The figure's eyes locked on mine. "Jordan," they said, voice low and commanding, "today you revealed yourself to the world. That is courage. But will you maintain that courage when tested directly? When someone challenges not just your identity, but your strength of heart?" I drew a deep breath, feeling the dress settle around me like armor. "I will," I said firmly. "I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself." A moment of silence hung in the air. The shadows seemed to stretch and sway around the figure, and the wind picked up, swirling leaves and loose papers. The energy in the parking lot felt charged, as if the world itself were holding its breath. Tyler and a few other students hesitated behind me, unsure what to do. Some onlookers whispered, their eyes wide with curiosity. Sophie, the quiet girl who had supported me before, gave me a small nod of encouragement. I realized then that courage could influence others, it could ripple outward, inspiring even those who were initially uncertain. The figure finally gave a slow, approving nod. "Good. Bravery is admirable, but influence requires more steadfastness, empathy, and the ability to inspire others even when challenged. Remember this, Jordan, the tests are only beginning." I felt the dress pull slightly, almost alive, reinforcing a strange mix of courage, confidence, and calm determination. I understood then that fear could be transformed into power when met with honesty and conviction. Just as I began to relax, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. "The ultimate trial is near, Jordan. Someone is approaching who will challenge not just your courage, but your heart and resolve. Be ready, your next steps will determine everything." I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A massive shadow moved deliberately toward me, exuding authority and menace. The graduation dress had revealed my identity and inspired others, but now, the greatest challenge of all was coming. Could I face it without fear, fully embracing who I truly am? The massive shadow loomed closer, each step deliberate, sending ripples of tension through the air. My pulse raced, but the lavender dress seemed to hum softly, a warm, protective energy grounding me in the moment. Emma stayed close, holding my hand firmly. "Jordan, you've got this," she whispered. Her confidence bolstered my own, giving me the courage to stand tall. The figure stopped just a few feet away, their eyes piercing and calculating. "Jordan," they said, voice low and commanding, "you've revealed yourself today. That is bravery. But can you maintain that courage when faced with direct opposition? Can you inspire others to act with honesty while standing firm yourself?" I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the moment, but I refused to back down. "I will," I said, voice steady. "I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I'll face it as myself." The air seemed to thicken, the energy around us vibrating faintly. Tyler and his friends stood frozen, unsure of what to do. Some of the other students and parents lingered at a distance, whispering, their eyes wide with anticipation. Even Sophie, who had supported me earlier, nodded subtly, giving me an unspoken boost of confidence. The figure studied me for a long moment, silent, measuring my resolve. Then slowly they nodded. Very well. Courage is admirable, but true strength is more than visibility. It is steadfastness, empathy, and influence. Today you've begun, but the real test is just ahead. I felt a surge of determination. The dress, the courage I had embraced, and the support of Emma and my friends combined into a powerful clarity. Fear was still present, but now it was tempered with confidence, readiness, and purpose. As the figure receded slightly into the shadows, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The ultimate challenge approaches, Jordan. Someone is coming who will test your heart, your bravery, and your honesty like never before. Prepare yourself, for your next choices will shape everything. I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A massive, imposing figure was moving closer, deliberate and unstoppable, ready to challenge not just my courage, but my very identity. The graduation dress had revealed my true self, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate trial was upon me. Could I stand firm, embrace who I truly am, and transform fear into empowerment? The massive figure moved closer, each step deliberate and measured, radiating an almost tangible authority. My heart raced, yet the lavender dress seemed to respond, humming softly as if it were lending me courage. I felt a strange warmth spread through me, steadying my nerves and grounding me in the moment. Emma stayed by my side, her hand gripping mine firmly. Jordan, whatever happens, stay true to yourself, she whispered. Her calm confidence bolstered me, giving me the strength to face what was coming. The figure stopped just a few feet away, their eyes piercing and calculating. Jordan, they said, voice deep and commanding, you have revealed yourself. That is courage. But can you maintain that courage under direct challenge? Can you protect yourself and others while standing true to your identity? I drew a slow, steadying breath. I will, I said, my voice firm. I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself. The figure studied me silently, eyes unblinking, as if weighing the very core of my resolve. Then slowly they nodded. Very well. Bravery is only the beginning. True strength comes from consistency, empathy, and influence. You've begun to understand it, but the real test awaits. I realized something crucial. The courage I displayed wasn't just for me. It had ripple effects. Tyler and his friends seemed uncertain, their mockery replaced with hesitation. Some of the other students whispered, watching closely. Even Sophie, who had quietly supported me before, smiled encouragingly. My actions were influencing others, subtly inspiring them to reconsider their judgments. The lavender dress seemed to pulse slightly, as if alive, amplifying my confidence and projecting it outward. I felt a newfound clarity. Fear could be transformed into empowerment when met with honesty and courage. Just as I began to regain my composure, my phone buzzed again. A new message appeared from the unknown number. The ultimate trial is here, Jordan. Someone approaches who will test your heart, bravery, and honesty. Your choices in the coming moments will define your path. I looked toward the far edge of the parking lot. A colossal shadow moved deliberately toward me, exuding authority and menace. The graduation dress had revealed my identity and inspired others, but now the ultimate challenge had arrived. Could I stand firm, embrace my true self, and transform fear into strength? The massive figure stopped mere feet away, their presence radiating a powerful intensity that made the air feel charged. Every instinct told me to step back, yet the lavender dress clung softly to me, almost alive, lending courage with every heartbeat. Emma's hand gripped mine firmly. Jordan, trust yourself, she whispered. Her confidence strengthened my own, grounding me as the challenge loomed. The figure's eyes locked on mine, piercing and calculating. "Jordan," they said, voice deep and unwavering, "you have revealed yourself. Courage is admirable, but can you maintain it under scrutiny, under pressure, when judgment comes not just from strangers, but from those closest to you?" I inhaled deeply, letting the warmth of the dress steady me. "I will," I said firmly. "I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself." The figure's gaze lingered, silent, assessing my resolve. Then slowly, a faint nod. "Good. Bravery is only the first step. True strength is consistency, empathy, and influence. Today you have begun to understand, but the real trial is ahead." I felt a surge of clarity. The courage I displayed wasn't just for me, it affected those around me. Tyler and his friends hesitated, their mockery gone, replaced with uncertainty. Some students whispered, observing, and Sophie's quiet nod of encouragement reminded me that my actions could inspire others. The dress seemed to pulse slightly, its lavender glow reflecting the strength I had embraced. I realized that fear could be transformed into empowerment when met with honesty and courage. Before I could react further, my phone buzzed with a new message from the unknown number. "The ultimate trial has arrived, Jordan. Someone approaches who will test your heart, bravery, and honesty. Your choices in the coming moments will determine everything." I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A colossal shadow advanced deliberately, radiating menace and authority. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate challenge had arrived. Could I stand firm, embrace my true self, and transform fear into strength? The colossal figure stepped fully into view, their presence dominating the parking lot. Every instinct screamed caution, yet I felt the lavender dress hum softly, grounding me, bolstering my courage. Emma stayed close, her hand in mine, whispering, "Jordan, you've got this. Stay true." Her calm confidence anchored me. The figure's eyes bore into mine, assessing, unyielding. "Jordan," they said, voice low and authoritative, "you've revealed yourself, and that is commendable. But courage will be tested beyond words. Will you remain steadfast when the challenge demands action, when fear confronts honesty directly?" I inhaled, feeling the warmth and subtle energy of the dress fill me with determination. "I will," I said, voice steady. "I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself." For a moment, silence fell. Even the wind seemed to pause. Then slowly, the figure nodded. "Good. Bravery alone is only the beginning. True strength is consistency, empathy, and influence over others. Today you begin to understand it, but the real test is imminent." I realized then that courage wasn't just personal, it could ripple outward. Tyler and his friends wavered, unsure. Some of the onlookers whispered and observed. Sophie, with a subtle nod, reminded me that my bravery could inspire even the hesitant. The dress pulsed lightly, almost alive, amplifying my confidence and projecting it outward. I felt clarity. Fear could be transformed into empowerment when met with honesty and purpose. Just as I gathered my focus, my phone buzzed. Another message from the unknown number appeared. "The ultimate challenge is approaching, Jordan. Someone is coming who will test your courage, your honesty, and your resolve. Your next steps will define everything." A massive shadow moved deliberately toward me, exuding authority and an unspoken threat. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and shifted perceptions, but now the ultimate trial was at hand. Could I stand firm, embrace my true self, and transform fear into empowerment? The massive figure's shadow stretched across the parking lot, moving with deliberate, controlled steps. My heartbeat raced, but the lavender dress seemed to thrum with energy, wrapping me in an unspoken strength. Emma's hand held mine tightly. "Jordan, remember who you are," she whispered, her calm confidence steadying my nerves. The figure stopped a few feet away, their eyes sharp, unyielding. "Jordan," they said, voice low and commanding, "you've revealed yourself. That is bravery. But will courage hold when tested directly? Will honesty protect you when faced with fear and scrutiny? I drew a deep, steadying breath, letting the dress's warmth anchor me. I will, I said firmly. I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself. The figure studied me silently, weighing my resolve. Then, with a faint nod, they spoke. Good. Courage is only the first step. True strength comes from consistency, empathy, and influence. Today you've begun to understand, but the real challenge is imminent. I felt a surge of clarity. My courage was not just for me. It affected those around me. Tyler and his friends wavered, unsure, their sneers replaced by hesitation. Some onlookers whispered quietly. Sophie gave a subtle nod, a reminder that my honesty could inspire even the hesitant. The lavender dress seemed to pulse, as if alive, reinforcing my confidence and projecting it outward. I realized fear could be transformed into empowerment when met with courage and authenticity. Before I could gather my thoughts, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The ultimate trial approaches, Jordan. Someone is coming who will test your heart, bravery, and honesty. Your choices in the coming moments will determine everything. At the far edge of the parking lot, a colossal shadow advanced deliberately, exuding authority and silent menace. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate challenge was here. Could I stand firm, embrace who I truly am, and transform fear into strength? The colossal figure stopped just a few feet away, their presence almost tangible, radiating authority, power, and an unspoken challenge. Every instinct screamed to retreat, yet the lavender dress hummed softly against my skin, filling me with courage I hadn't realized I possessed. Emma squeezed my hand. Jordan, whatever happens, remember who you are, she whispered. Her quiet confidence grounded me, giving me strength. The figure's eyes bore into mine, sharp and assessing. Jordan, they said, voice deep and steady, you've revealed yourself. Courage is admirable. But will you maintain it when scrutiny comes, when fear confronts honesty, when judgment is immediate and unavoidable? I drew a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the dress anchor me. I will, I said firmly. I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself. For a tense moment, silence settled over the lot. Tyler and his friends hesitated, unsure. Some onlookers whispered, intrigued. Sophie's subtle nod encouraged me, reminding me that courage can ripple outward and influence others. The figure finally nodded slowly. Very well. Bravery is only the first step. True strength is consistency, empathy, and influence. Today, you've begun to understand. But the real test awaits, one that will push not only your courage, but your heart and resolve. The lavender dress pulsed faintly, almost alive, amplifying my confidence. I realized then that fear could transform into empowerment when met with honesty and bravery. As I steadied myself, my phone buzzed once more. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The ultimate trial is here, Jordan. Someone approaches who will challenge your heart, bravery, and honesty. Your next choices will define everything. I looked toward the far edge of the parking lot. A massive, imposing shadow advanced deliberately, radiating an undeniable sense of power and challenge. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and changed perceptions, but now the ultimate confrontation was upon me. Could I face it head-on, fully embracing who I truly am? The imposing figure stepped closer, each movement deliberate and commanding. My heart pounded, yet the lavender dress seemed to pulse softly, lending me courage, steadying every shaky breath. Emma squeezed my hand tightly. Jordan, you can do this. Remember who you are, she whispered. Her calm presence anchored me in the storm of tension. The figure stopped just a few feet away, their eyes sharp and calculating. Jordan, they said, voice deep and steady, you have revealed yourself. That is bravery. But can you maintain that courage when directly confronted? Will honesty protect you when scrutiny and fear collide? I inhaled, letting the dress's warmth ground me. I will, I said, voice firm. I've hidden too long. I won't hide anymore. Whatever comes, I will face it as myself. The figure regarded me silently, their gaze unyielding, weighing the depth of my resolve. Then slowly, a faint nod. Good. Courage alone is only the beginning. True strength is consistency, empathy, and influence. Today you've begun to understand, but the real trial is imminent. I felt a surge of determination. My courage wasn't just for me, it affected those around me. Tyler and his friends faltered, unsure. Some students whispered curiously. Sophie's subtle nod reminded me that bravery could inspire others. The lavender dress seemed to hum slightly, amplifying my confidence and projecting it outward. I realized fear could be transformed into empowerment when met with honesty and courage. Before I could gather my thoughts, my phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number appeared. The ultimate trial has arrived, Jordan. Someone is approaching who will test your heart, bravery, and honesty. Your next actions will define everything. I glanced toward the far edge of the parking lot. A colossal shadow advanced deliberately, exuding authority, power, and silent menace. The graduation dress had revealed my identity, inspired others, and shifted perceptions, but now the ultimate challenge was here. Could I stand firm, embrace my true self, and transform fear into strength?